Now that you guys know your vocab up and down, at least hopefully we do. If not, maybe you should have it out next to you so you can take a look at it as you're going through this. We're going to look at involving some math in some of the stuff we talked about yesterday. So, we're looking at measuring and constructing segments. So remember what the segment was. It's a chunk of a line. We're going to look at a couple different things. First thing we're going to look at is segment distance, or the absolute value. Hopefully that term rings a bell from Algebra 1 or even maybe before that. All that means is we're trying to find the absolute distance between A and B. And it's absolute because we're going to have negatives involved on occasion. So again, it's the distance between 2 points. Okay, so if we look at a couple examples, just starting off simple, we have DC. So from D to C, there, you can simply count it, go from 2 to 3, 3 to 4, and then 4 halfway in between. So we're going to call that 2.5 units. Okay. In EF goes from here to here. Now again, we have negatives, but we're looking at the absolute distance. That absolute distance is, you're going to count 1, 2, 3 spots, so it would be 3 units. Not negative 3 units, you're talking about a distance. Okay. Next thing with segments are congruent segments. Okay, hopefully you've heard the term congruent. Maybe you have, maybe you haven't. What congruent means is basically they're equal. So it's when we have two equally length, or what's called equal length segments. Okay, they're the same size, they're the same length, same distance. Which brings us to our first postulate. Again, don't worry about memorizing 1-2-2. Think about what it means. And you don't want to memorize in math, you want to try and make sure you understand what we're looking at. And what we're looking at here is, it says if B is between A and C, then AB plus BC equals AC. Okay, there's a lot of letters. I know you don't like looking at the algebra. So what that means is, give yourself a picture. If B is somewhere between A and C, okay, then AB plus BC equals AC. Okay, again, to make it a little bit more simple, it means little chunk plus little chunk equals big chunk. The little piece plus the little piece equals the big piece. So this little part here plus that little part there equals the entire length, which makes sense. Okay, let's look at a couple of examples. In example 1, if B is between A and C, okay, so give yourself a picture. It's much easier when you take the time to draw a picture. So we have B is here, we have A, we have C, okay, on this line segment. If B is between A and C, AC is 14, so this entire length is 14. BC is 11.4, so from here to there is 11.4. How would we find AB? Well, if you have a big piece and a little piece, you want to try and find the other little piece. So hopefully you can see that what we want to do is take AB equal to 14 minus 11.4. So AB is equal to 2.6 units. Always label it units if I don't give you inches or feet or miles or whatever we're talking about. Here's another one. Okay, now we have algebra involved. We have some x's. No big deal. We know how to handle this. So S is between R and T. We want to find RT. Now, we know that, again, little piece plus another little piece equals the big piece. Big piece is 4x. So what we're going to do is say 2x plus 4 plus 28 equals 4x. Okay, again, we have little piece plus little piece equals the big piece. Go ahead and use your algebra skills. 2x plus 32 equals 4x. Subtract 2x from both sides. 32 equals 2x. Divide both sides by 2, so x equals 16. Now, go back and look at the question. It says find RT, not find x. X is important. We always need to find x first. Now we want to go ahead and find RT. RT is equal to 4x, so let's write 4x first. So RT is going to be equal to 4 times 16, or RT is equal to 64 units. Okay, now we know how to measure segments, how to add up little piece and get a big piece, and how to subtract from it. We want to add one other thing to this, and that's the midpoint of a segment. Okay, midpoint of a segment is pretty simple. If we look at a segment like this, call it A, we'll call it B, call this midpoint C. Middle, it's the middle point. Okay, in other words, it's the halfway point. Okay, it's halfway between the two endpoints. Pretty simple, but we want to make sure we put that to use. So, if we look at example 1, B is the midpoint of AC. AB is 5x, BC is 3x plus 4. Find AB, BC, AC. Don't get antsy and try and find these right off the bat. Okay, we need to first go ahead and find x. Now, the key word here is midpoint. Midpoint tells us that AB and BC are the exact same because B is the midpoint of AC. So it divides it in half. So if we know that's true, we also know that 5x is equal to 3x plus 4 because AB is equal to BC. Subtract 3x, 2x equals 4, divide by 2, x equals 2. There's part of our answer. Now go back in any order you want, find AB. So AB is made up of 5x, so 5 times 2. AB is 10. We also have to find BC. So we have 3x plus 4. 3 times 2 plus 4. BC is equal to 10. Okay, which makes sense. We should know AB is equal to BC, but that's a good way to double check your answer. And again, you should know now we have AB is 10, BC is 10, therefore AC should be 20. But we can also double check that and go ahead and do 5x plus 3x plus 4. So that's 8x. This is for AC. 8x plus 4. And then, so we have 8 times 2 plus 4. So we have AC is in fact 20. And that's how we can double check our answer. So AB is 10, BC is 10. Therefore, the whole thing is 20. Right now would be a good time to pause and see if you can work out example 2. I think you probably have a good feel for what's going on in the first example. Try example 2. Try pausing it. And then you can always fast forward and see if you got it correct. If you didn't, go back and see what you did wrong. So we have S is the midpoint. I'll start up here of RT. Okay, so we have this line segment. RS is negative 2x. ST, is negative 3x minus 2. We want to find, again, these three things. We have to find x first. So, start by knowing that we have this RS and ST are equal. Again, this is the midpoint of RT. Okay, RS is negative 2x, ST is negative 3x minus 2. We know that RS is equal to ST, so negative 2x is equal to negative 3x minus 2. Add 3x to both sides. So we have x equals negative 2. It's okay for x to be negative 2. Does not mean that segment is negative 2. We can find what these segments actually are. So we have RS is equal to negative 2x. So we have negative 2 times negative 2. RS is 4 units. Then we have ST is equal to negative 3x minus 2. We should already be thinking this is going to equal 4. Let's double check though. Negative 3 times negative 2 minus 2. ST is in fact 4. Okay, and then again, we could go ahead and find out what negative 2x plus negative 3x minus 2 is equal to when we plug in negative 2, or we should also again know that RT is 8. Okay, and that is it for today. Make sure you rewind and look over anything else you need to. Segments, midpoints, make sure you can put it all together. Little piece plus little piece equals the big piece. And then again, midpoint is the halfway point between two endpoints. Make sure you look over this. Be ready to go tomorrow. Have a great night.